You are in a supermarket aisle, looking for a good cut of chicken. You see a name that promises everything. Reared with care, farm fresh, or perhaps a comforting, British-sounding farm name. You trust it, but that promise is a lie. Stop. That chicken, bought from one of the UK's 5 biggest supermarkets, is often a calculated, multi-million-pound deception. It's designed to trick you into buying cheaper, lower-welfare meat under a comforting, ethical-sounding name. This is not just marketing. This is a betrayal of your trust and your health. Today, we expose the shocking truth behind the chicken sold at Tesco, Asda, Marks & Spencer, Lidl, and Morrison's. This is a direct attack on your right to know what you are feeding your family and on the ethical standards we expect. This is the investigation they don't want you to see. We are revealing the specific hidden scandals behind each of the 5 biggest names, the tactics they use, and the single, powerful way you can fight back against this systemic deception. The story of your chicken is far more complex and far more disturbing than you can imagine, and a hidden health crisis that starts in the poultry shed and ends on your dinner plate. The first secret is the motive: pure, unadulterated money. The chicken industry is a billion-pound market built on a fictional narrative of quality and care. Take Tesco, the pioneer of this strategy. Their reared with care label is a prime example of deception. It is legally meaningless, allowing them to source a significant portion of their chicken from fast-growing industrial birds while giving you the illusion of high welfare. It's a global product with a local, ethical disguise. This is not a mistake. It's a deliberate strategy. Tesco knows that a significant portion of their customer base wants to make ethical choices, but they also want low prices. The reared with care label is the perfect compromise. This is the ultimate corporate sleight of hand. They capitalize on your desire for ethical sourcing without actually providing it. A win-win for the corporation and a lose-lose for the consumer. Now, consider Morrison's. They pride themselves on supporting British farmers. Imported chicken from Poland being relabeled and sold as British. The scale of this fraud is staggering. When a supermarket that bases its entire identity on supporting local farmers is caught in such a blatant act of deception, it forces us to question every single label we see. And they're not the only ones. Asda, M&S, and Lidl all participate in practices that prioritize profit maximization over transparency. This has become a standard business practice in the British supermarket sector. But here is the kicker. Meat from abroad, or meat from fast-growing industrial farms, is often much cheaper because it is produced under lower animal welfare and environmental standards. By disguising this meat as cared for or local, they're selling you lower standards at a higher price. The deception is a chain reaction. It starts with a misleading label and ends with a compromised product. The financial cost of this deception is nothing compared to the human and ethical cost. Let's talk about the Franken-chicken problem prevalent in the standard lines of Asda and Lidl. These are ultra-fast-growing birds bred to reach slaughter weight in just over a month. Their bodies simply cannot cope. Imagine a human baby growing to the size of a fully grown adult in 2 months. That is the biological stress we are putting on these animals. This leads to chronic pain, lameness, and organ failure. Many of these birds are unable to walk in their final days. This is the reality behind the cheap chicken you see on the shelf. The small, independent farmers who are transparent about their welfare standards simply cannot compete with the artificially low prices enabled by this industrial deception. In the case of Lidl, the ultra-fast growth results in poor texture, mushy or tough, and high levels of visceral fat. You buy an illusion of quality, but pay for a reality of lower standards and potential digestive distress. We're not just talking about taste. We are talking about the nutritional integrity of the food. When an animal is stressed, sick, and unable to move, the resulting meat is fundamentally inferior. It is less dense in key nutrients and harder for the human body to process. The supermarkets profit from animal suffering by hiding it behind a friendly-sounding name. The ethical choice is not just about the animal. It's about supporting a sustainable, transparent food system that values quality over sheer volume. Now for the biggest shock. the system that is supposed to protect you is failing. The labels meant to reassure you of high standards are being used to mask a corporate lie. Consider the contamination crisis. Asda has historically struggled with some of the highest rates of Campylobacter, the leading cause of food poisoning in the UK. This bacteria thrives in the crowded, unsanitary conditions of intensive farming. And Marks & Spencer, the supposed beacon of quality, recently had to recall breaded chicken products due to confirmed salmonella contamination. The system is supposed to be the consumer's shield, but it has become the supermarket's camouflage, because these convenient products are often purchased by the most vulnerable, older adults and busy families. This proves that even the highest price tag doesn't guarantee safety when the underlying industrial practices are flawed. The contamination often occurs during the high-speed processing phase, where a single lapse in hygiene can affect thousands of products. Animal welfare organizations have been pointing out for years that the bare minimum standards used by these supermarkets are no guarantee of high animal welfare or safety. The crowded, unsanitary conditions that lead to poor welfare are the same conditions that breed dangerous bacteria. The combination of misleading labels and health risks creates a double layer of deception. You are paying for a lie, and you are risking your health in the process. We must demand better. We must demand a system where the health of the consumer is prioritized over the speed of the production line. The final piece of the puzzle is the political and regulatory failure. The answer is simple: the relentless pursuit of the cheapest meat possible. This is not an accident. It is a legislative design flaw driven by the industry. The poor, crowded conditions of industrial farming necessitate the heavy use of antibiotics. This is why investigations have found high levels of antibiotic-resistant E. coli in Tesco's standard chicken lines. This is the true superbug threat. Every time you eat that chicken, you are potentially exposing yourself to a superbug that modern medicine struggles to fight. The supermarkets and the regulatory bodies have successfully fought against clear, unambiguous labeling that would force them to reveal the true source and the true cost of their cheap imports. They lobby tirelessly to keep the loopholes open. The lack of widespread adoption of the Better Chicken commitment across the UK is the industry's silent admission of guilt. In reality, they are protecting their right to maximize profit at the expense of public health. The regulatory bodies, which should be independent, are often too closely intertwined with the industry they are supposed to regulate. This is where the power truly lies. The corporate giants dictate the rules of the game and keep the dangerous truth about their chicken hidden. The government needs to step in and mandate transparency. So, how do they get away with it? The answer lies in a tiny, almost invisible loophole in the labeling laws. As long as the meat is packed in the UK, the supermarket can use a British-sounding name or a comforting phrase like reared with care, even if the animal was born, raised, and slaughtered thousands of miles away. This is the crucial piece of the puzzle. We're being sold a global product under a local disguise. The only way to fight back is to become a label detective. Ignore the big, friendly font. Ignore the idyllic pictures. Turn the packaging over and look for the fine print. The truth is always in the fine print. Look for labels that explicitly state, born, reared, and slaughtered in the UK. If it only says packed in the UK, or if the origin is unclear, assume it is imported or from a low-welfare industrial farm. Support the farmers who are transparent. Look for labels that matter. RSPCA assured, organic, or those that explicitly meet the Better Chicken commitment. This is the direct line to ethics and quality. Consider buying from a local butcher who can tell you exactly where the meat came from. Every small choice you make sends a ripple through the industry. Your wallet is your vote. Every time you choose a Better Chicken, you send a message to the supermarkets that their deception and contamination will no longer be tolerated. Supermarkets have engineered a system built on deception, maximizing profit at the expense of the consumer and the honest farmer. But we, the consumers, hold the power to change this. The power is in your hands. You now know the truth behind the camouflage, the lie behind the label, and the cost of your convenience. Do not let them sell you a lie. The only way to win this fight is to choose the truth. Choose health. Choose ethics. Choose the truth. If this video opened your eyes, share it. Subscribe for more investigations. And the next time you are in the supermarket, remember what you learned here. Thank you for watching.